Welcome to the News Ledger. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. For over a decade, the Nicaragua Canal has lingered as a phantom, an idea that has captured imaginations and stirred controversy across continents. It's an audacious plan to carve a massive new waterway through the heart of Central America, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and forever altering the region's landscape. Backed by powerful Chinese investors and Nicaragua's own government, the canal is envisioned as a rival to the legendary Panama Canal, offering a wider, deeper route for the world's largest ships, potentially redrawing the map of global shipping. But this project is about more than just trade. It's a high-stakes contest for influence and power in a region long considered America's backyard, now attracting China's growing ambitions. For China, the canal represents a strategic foothold in the Western Hemisphere, a chance to expand its reach and secure vital shipping lanes. For Nicaragua, it's been sold as a supposed path out of poverty, a promise of jobs, investment, and a brighter future for its people. Yet the project is haunted by deep financial uncertainty, fierce environmental fears, and the risk of irreversible damage to fragile ecosystems. There's also the outcry of indigenous communities and local residents who fear displacement and the loss of their ancestral lands. Today, the canal is less a construction site and more a geopolitical bargaining chip, its future shrouded in doubt, its potential impact still looming over global trade and regional politics. Is the Nicaragua Canal a game-changer on the verge of revival, or a cautionary tale of ambition colliding with reality? The world is still waiting for the answer. The dream of a Nicaraguan canal actually stretches back even further than the famous Panama Canal, by centuries in fact. For generations, visionaries, explorers, and engineers have been captivated by the idea of carving a waterway through Nicaragua, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Spanish explorers in the 16th century were among the first to imagine this grand project, seeing Lake Nicaragua as a natural shortcut between the seas. Later, in the 19th and early 20th centuries, U.S. engineers and surveyors mapped out possible routes, convinced that Nicaragua's geography offered the most promising path for a transoceanic canal. For a time, Nicaragua was the clear frontrunner for the canal, with political debates raging in Washington and beyond. But a dramatic eruption of the Momotombo volcano, combined with intense lobbying and shifting U.S. interests, ultimately tipped the scales in favor of Panama. When the Panama Canal finally opened in 1914, Nicaragua's canal ambitions seemed to fade into history. Yet, the dream never truly died. Nearly a century later, in 2012, President Daniel Ortega stunned the world by announcing plans to revive the project on a scale never seen before. Ortega granted a sweeping 50-year concession to the enigmatic HKND Group, led by Chinese billionaire Wang Jing. The deal promised jobs, investment, and a new era of prosperity for Nicaragua, sparking both excitement and skepticism. The project was launched with great fanfare in 2014, with ceremonies, banners, and bold promises. But despite the headlines, actual construction work never truly began, and doubts quickly grew. In 2015, Wang Jing's fortune was decimated by the Chinese stock market crash, leaving the project without its main financial backer. By 2018, HKND had quietly disappeared, leaving behind only questions and unfinished business. The canal's legacy is complicated. It left behind broken promises, a controversial law that displaced families, and a nation still yearning for the transformation that was promised but never delivered. Today, the story of the Nicaragua Canal remains a powerful symbol, a cycle of hope, hype, and heartbreak. Its long and winding history continues to shape the dreams and struggles of Nicaragua's people, as they look to the future and wonder if the canal will ever become reality. The modern canal dream rests on the alliance between Nicaragua's Ortega and China. Isolated by Western sanctions, Ortega turned to Beijing, offering the canal as a prize for diplomatic and economic support. In 2021, Nicaragua cut ties with Taiwan, cementing its partnership with China. Chinese investment soon followed. Energy projects, infrastructure, and quiet groundwork for deeper ties. For Ortega, it's about regime survival. For China, a strategic foothold in America's backyard. The canal is less about ideology and more about mutual interests, power, legitimacy, and influence. This alliance has transformed the canal from a failed private venture into a state-backed geopolitical gambit. The stakes are higher than ever. In 2024, Nicaragua revoked HKND's concession, effectively nationalizing the canal project. Now, Ortega's government courts Chinese state-owned giants, shifting from private tycoon to direct state partnership. Chinese firms are quietly conducting new studies, signaling Beijing's interest hasn't faded. It's just evolved. On the ground, life continues under a cloud of uncertainty for communities along the route. Dissent is silenced, but fear of displacement lingers. Meanwhile, the US and Panama watch warily, alarmed by the prospect of a Chinese-controlled canal in the region. For Panama, a rival canal threatens its economy. For Washington, it's a strategic red line. The canal's future is murky, but its geopolitical shadow looms large. The next move could reshape the region. The Nicaragua Canal is a pawn in a high-stakes game between China and the US. For China, it's a Belt and Road trophy, and a challenge to US dominance in the hemisphere. Control of a new canal would give Beijing leverage over global trade and security. The US fears dual-use potential, commercial today, military tomorrow. China's investments in Latin American ports, including Panama, are part of a broader string of pearls strategy. For Latin American nations, Chinese investment is tempting, but alignment risks US backlash. The canal forces every country in the region to weigh its loyalties and interests. The project is more than a waterway. It's a test of global alliances and the future of hemispheric power. The chessboard is set and every move matters. The world is watching. The Panama Canal, a linchpin of global trade for over a century, now faces a new and formidable threat: climate vulnerability. Once celebrated as an engineering marvel that connected oceans and continents, the canal's future is suddenly uncertain. The severe drought of 2024 forced authorities to impose drastic restrictions, slashing the number of daily transits and creating unprecedented shipping chaos. The world watched as dozens of ships idled for days, exposing the canal's deep dependence on freshwater from nearby lakes and rivers. Suddenly, interest in a long-discussed Nicaraguan alternative surged. Lake Nicaragua, with its vast reserves, offers a tantalizing solution: more water, and the potential to accommodate even larger ships that the Panama Canal cannot handle. The prospect of a new canal would directly challenge Panama's business model, threatening its economic survival and the livelihoods of thousands who depend on canal operations. China, already a major player at the Panama Canal, faces a complex paradox. It needs both routes to secure its global supply chains, but investing in a rival canal could destabilize the delicate status quo and spark geopolitical tensions. For global shipping giants, a Nicaraguan canal means the promise of bigger ships, lower costs, and more efficient trade routes, potentially transforming the economics of maritime transport. For Panama, even a partial loss of shipping traffic would be devastating, threatening jobs, government revenue, and the nation's identity as a crossroads of the world. The drought has reignited a century-old canal rivalry, raising the stakes for governments, businesses, and workers across the region. The world is watching closely as the balance of power shifts. The next great waterway could reshape global trade as we know it. The gamble is on, and the outcome will echo across continents. The canal's path threatens to displace up to 120,000 people, farmers, ranchers, and indigenous communities. Protests erupted over forced land seizures, met with government crackdowns. The route cuts through protected indigenous territories, violating rights and endangering cultures. Lake Nicaragua, Central America's largest freshwater source, faces ecological disaster from dredging and saltwater intrusion. Critics warn of irreversible damage to rainforests, wildlife, and water supplies. The price of progress could be the destruction of Nicaragua's natural and human heritage. Despite renewed Chinese interest, experts doubt the canal's financial logic. With costs up to $100 billion, the project would be one of history's most expensive and hardest to justify commercially. The Panama Canal remains a formidable competitor, and diverting enough traffic to pay off the investment seems unlikely. The real motivation is geopolitical, not economic. Political risks are high. Ortega's regime is brittle, and future governments could upend the deal. For China, the canal is a high-stakes gamble, potentially a crowning achievement or a costly quagmire. The variables, economic, political, environmental, are daunting. The only certainty is that the stakes are enormous. The Nicaragua Canal stands at the crossroads of ambition and consequence. Its fate depends on Beijing's calculation. Is the geopolitical prize worth the cost and risk? The answer will come quietly, through actions on the ground, not grand announcements. If built, the canal would reshape trade, power, and the environment in the Americas. It's a symbol of the New World Order, where infrastructure is a weapon and progress comes at a price. The fate of Lake Nicaragua is now a global question. What are we willing to sacrifice for ambition? The world waits to see if the water will ever flow.